What is going on, you guys? So today we got you the top 5 overhead press or OHP mistakes that you may be making, and by correcting these mistakes, I guarantee your overhead press will increase and you'll have significant more muscle gain in your shoulders. Now real quick guys, before we get into the video, make sure you head on over to Instagram at Anabolic. Boom, hit that follow button. Now let's not waste any more time and hop right into the video and how to increase your OHP and make more shoulder gains. Mistake number 1 is starting too upright. And what I mean by this is you have no slight lean backward, so there's actually a lot more stress on your rotator cuffs. You have no room to actually push the bar upward, so your bar path is going to have to alter if you're too upright, and you're at a much weaker mechanical position to start with. So by having a slight lean backward to begin the movement, this does incorporate a little more upper chest, but that explosion that incorporates more upper chest, which is a synergistic muscle from the beginning, this actually allows you to push more weight over your head, so you have more power, aka the strong mechanical advantage, and that will correlate to more shoulder strength and shoulder stability and shoulder gain as a result. Also, when you have that slight lean back to begin with, you're able to actually come upward instead of having to bang into your chin. So this is going to allow your bar path to stay consistent throughout the entire movement, and it takes a lot of stress off of the rotator cuffs instead of having your arms basically in a compromised position forward. So guys, by having a slight lean backward, you're actually going to have another synergistic muscle activated to have a stronger push for that overhead press, but more importantly, it's going to keep everything consistent and more sturdy for the actual push. Mistake number 2 is not pushing through. Now this actually relates to the first mistake, where if you're too upright, it's literally impossible to push through, but also if you do mistake number 1 correctly actually, so you have that slight lean backward, you can still make this mistake by not pushing through, and that way the bar would just stay in front of you the whole time, and then you have too much emphasis actually on the chest in that situation. The way you incorporate more shoulder activation and have the most powerful overhead press is pushing the head through and allowing the chest to actually come through as well, and this is going to make your overhead press much more powerful, and it's going to have you able to lock out smoother. So instead of getting stuck right here, by pushing through, it'll help you get through that middle sticking point and allow your OHP lockout to be even more powerful. So you have more power from the beginning, from that slight lean back, and then by pushing through, a more powerful lockout. Mistake number 3 is no core engagement. Guys, when you put a bar over your head and you're holding it above your head, that requires a ton of stability. By not having your core activated, so literally flexing the abs on the overhead press, this puts your lower back in a very compromised position because you could fall backward, or it puts a ton more emphasis onto the chest or another muscle that's recruited for the movement, because you're taking it away from your shoulders by the bar path getting altered, since your core isn't stabilizing your body. So basically you're rocking, you're coming forward, coming backward, coming sideways. Your balance is completely lost if you're not squeezing your core. So you have to squeeze your core through the entire duration of the overhead press for the most powerful press possible. Mistake number 4 is having the wrong grip width. Now this actually does make a significant difference, and if your grip is too wide, you're actually putting your rotator cuffs in a compromised position. Yes, it puts more tension onto the shoulders, but it's going to weaken your overhead press. The other mistake is if your hands are too close, this puts a lot of tension actually on the triceps, and you're not at a strong mechanical advantage, so your OHP is not going to be as strong. What I recommend is having your grip thumb length from the beginning of the knurling, and this is the most powerful mechanical advantage and the most powerful position to press from the absolute beginning of the lift. This is going to keep your shoulders fully engaged, your triceps synergistically activated, and when you have that slight lean back, the upper chest is going to be activated as well, but all the primary tension is going to be on the shoulders for the actual push. Mistake number 5 is using momentum. Guys, this is an overhead press, not a push press. You are not bouncing with your legs, you're not going into a semi-squat, you're not using any leg force to actually push the weight over your head. This is an upper body movement. Yes, your heels need to be planted in the ground for stability purposes, but the actual tension should be on the shoulders, creating the force behind the actual press over your head. So guys, if you're getting any bounce in your legs, or you're having any leg drive to assist with the actual overhead press, you're taking away from the muscle recruitment of your upper body, mainly the shoulders. Like I said, some tricep and upper chest is synergistically activated, but mainly the shoulders, so you're taking away from muscle gain if you're recruiting leg drive for the overhead press. So don't use any momentum if you want to see the most results for your overhead press. So to recap on the 5 mistakes that you may be making on your overhead press are: 1, you're starting too upright. This is going to alter your bar path. You're not a strong mechanical advantage. You need to start with a slight lean back for the most powerful press possible. 2, you have no push through. This is going to significantly alter your lockout, and it's actually going to take away from your shoulder activation if you're not pushing through the actual movement. And 3, you have no core engagement. This is going to completely take away from the stability of the press, so you're going to lose all your sturdiness if you have no core activation. 4, you have the wrong grip width. If it's too wide, you have too much shoulder stress. If it's too close, too much tricep activation and not as strong. You need to be just thumb length from the start of the knurling for the most optimal positioning from the start for your press. And mistake number 5, you're using momentum. This is not a push press, guys. You should not be recruiting leg drive to assist in the overhead press, or you'll be taking away muscle gain because you're taking away the muscle recruitment from your shoulders. So by correcting these mistakes, guys, like I said, your OHP is going to skyrocket and you're going to see much more shoulder growth. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and if you aren't already, guys, head over to Facebook, like our Facebook page, Anabolic Aliens. Boom, hit that like button, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.
Together we got power. Let's just rap it.